Welcome back to another Ramble with Rob Intuitive Tarot card reading. Today's pick a card Intuitive Tarot is going to be to get what's next in your love life. So you could currently be single, you could currently be in a relationship. So obviously, please take these cards and these messages as they resonate. But in just a second, I'm going to put three cards or three piles of cards on the screen, and they're each topped by a crystal. So whichever you're drawn to, whether that be pile number 1, 2, or 3, skip ahead to the timestamps, which I'll make sure are in the description, and then that will be your message for what's next for you in love. So without more rambling from me, let's get straight into it. So here are the three piles with the three crystals. It's pile 1 on the left, pile 2 in the middle, and pile 3 on the right. So if you just take a nice deep breath and see which one you're drawn to first, make sure you follow your intuition and your first thoughts. That is going to be your pile. If you chose pile number 1, the crystal for you was the carnelian star. So you may want to look into the properties of carnelian and see how they resonate to you. But the card at the bottom of your pile was the 6 of Pentacles. And this to me speaks about finding that balance in your energy and making sure that you're not overgiving to connections, or you're not neglecting your own needs effectively. You're making sure to pour into your own cup and find the balance in the energy that you give to people, and also the amount that you keep for yourself. It's really important that you do keep some energy back for you and you protect your energy and don't allow people to drain that. I almost get this sense that this collective have either recently been single or they're at the very early stages of a new connection. It doesn't feel like you've been together for a long time if it is for a connection reading, because there seems to be a lot of healing and learning that's been undertaken, and maybe you have been together for quite some time and the connection's changed, but I see that you're learning the balance with giving your energy, and you're learning how to find that childlike happiness. It's going about the world in a very bubble-like state. It's acknowledging that obviously we need to be realistic about things, but also we need to be optimistic and we need to give to those who give to us. And it's almost, we're not taking people's word for it anymore. We're doing the whole actions speak louder than words. And we need to remember that that's a very give and take sort of balanced energy that needs to happen. We can't expect somebody to consistently give to us, or we can't expect to consistently give to somebody else, but there needs to be a give and take. And I think that maybe your outlook on connections, relationships, love in a whole has actually changed. I see that you're actually reviewing your options. You're looking at the world in a different way, but I think it's a very positive sign on the top row that you are looking at the world. You've been able to find this balance, or you are still finding this balance, to find your happiness, find how much we give to others, how much we take from others, and ultimately it's empowered you enough to look at the world in a different way. And hiccups could be significant because I keep getting this hiccup feeling, but make sure that you are actually embracing the 3 of Wands and you are continuing to look to brighter futures and brighter horizons, and you're putting your energy out there whilst keeping your light protected as well. I think with the Page of Swords, you've undertaken quite a learning journey. I think that you're at the very start of almost learning how to be you again in a connection, or what you actually want from a connection. You've managed to free yourself from this 4 of Swords stoic energy of maybe where you felt a little bit of stagnancy, but ultimately by embracing your own intuition and following through with finding balance in yourself, you'll be able to actually start standing in your power, or you're currently standing in your power. It's about acknowledging that we do consistently have to learn about ourselves. Every day is a school day, and we need to continue to take action on our emotions, the things that we feel, the things that trigger us, the things that cause us anxiety or worries or concerns. So just make sure that you're not shying away from any learning that continues to raise its head, or you're not being impatient with yourself throughout this time. I think it's really important that you're embracing the Page of Swords and learning how to free yourself from maybe this anxious, avoidant feeling that you're in, or maybe a feeling of apprehension. But by standing strong in your power and embracing the High Priestess, finding that balance in your reality and your own energy, you can really start to move forward on a connection. And this is why I'm drawn to it being a connection or a reading for people who are either single or start in the early stages of a connection, because we've got the Page of Cups here, or again, you could be in a long-term commitment with someone and you've just been learning lessons along the way and you're starting to apply them to this current relationship. But Whatever it is, make sure that you are using a fair judgment. You're not seeing things through rose-tinted glasses, for example, or you're not putting your own bias on situations, people, places. You're seeing things for how they truly are. And ultimately, I wouldn't be afraid to start nourishing yourself. I think it's important to acknowledge that when we do begin pouring into something, whether that be a connection, ourself, whatever it is, and it was 414 as I said that on the recording, it does feel a little bit daunting. It can feel a little bit scary, but ultimately you need to continue to make yourself uncomfortable in order to get comfortable. We don't grow when we're comfortable, so it's important that we do continue to challenge ourselves and move in different directions or undertake different learning journeys, so ultimately we can continue to shed old versions of ourselves and become a newer, better version, someone who's more healed, somebody who's got much more awareness of their emotional triggers whilst continuing to put their energy out into the world. It's about continuing to be you. Search for love, look for love, put love into yourself, put love out into the world, but do it in a very balanced way. Don't continue to be give, or overgive or overshare. It's important to use your discernment and be cautious throughout these things, but also make sure that you're not cutting yourself off to a point where you're defensive or you're actually blocking things from coming in. And if it is a connection that you're already in, just make sure again that you're using your discernment and you're really taking the time to focus on yourself and what a relationship or what an ideal partner is for you. What do you expect from your partner? What do you expect them to give to you? What kind of support do they expect from you? And just make sure that you're constantly learning about that balance again. I think that's the key thing in this message. It's learning what it looks like for you. What is your balance? What is your emotion fulfillment looking like? And I think that once you start to identify the answers to that, you'll be able to see this connection or new connections in a very different light. So please do drop me a comment and let me know if this reading resonated. I'd also appreciate if you could hit subscribe and also like the video, because it really does help them reach a wider audience. And I want these messages to reach as many people as they can so that they can help the wider collective. And I'll see you on the next one. Hello, pile 2. If you chose pile 2, then your crystal is the amethyst paw print. So you could have either divine spirit guides that are animals, or you've got furry friends on the other side, or it could be that you are drawn to the amethyst itself. So just do some research and have a little look into the properties of amethyst, see if they resonate with you, if you feel like they'll help you in any sort of way. I really feel like this reading is either for, I feel like 3 different categories of people. I feel like it is either someone who's single, who is returning to themselves, so really empowering themselves, they're coming back to themselves and connecting with their higher self and the divine, or it is you are single and love is incoming. And that is the one that I'm most drawn to, actually. It's that you're a single collective and this is love making its way to you. And then the third one could obviously be that you are currently in a relationship, and I feel like there is a lot here that maybe has changed, or things are going to change if that is the case. But my biggest intuitive hit is that it's for a single collective who are attracting love at a really fast pace. So if you are single and you're looking for love, this is a very positive sign for you. And obviously, again, take it how it resonates. If you're here and you're in a relationship, then listen to the message. There might be something in it for you. There's a reason that you've been drawn to the amethyst paw print, pile number 2. Let's get into it. So the first card is the 2 of Cups, and I do see this as either a return to yourself, coming back into connection with your higher self, or it is actually a new partner coming in. The Lovers card is not out in this reading, so if the Lovers was here, I'd be pretty certain it would be a new connection. But because it's the 2 of Cups, to me this is about coming into unity with yourself, coming back to yourself. But ultimately it's followed by the 9 of Swords, and I see this as a card of fast moving action. So this is where I get drawn to you actually being a single collective with love making its way to you. I think someone's going to offer you a second cup, and it was 2-2 on the timer as I said that. So just make sure that you're accepting this cup and you're willing to put yourself out there. It's a really good time to try things. It's a really good time to start putting your energy out there into the world, but just make sure that you're protecting it. You don't have to give every single part of yourself to somebody. It's important that we protect our energy and find that balance. Everybody forgets with the world that they have 2 batons in their hand, and it's about finding that balance, that equilibrium to keep yourself in that state. So don't neglect your own needs for somebody else's, for example. Make sure that you are fully committed to your own nourishment as well as somebody else's. Don't be constantly over giving, for example. I do think that you're going to be celebrating really quickly. We've got the Eight of Wands here, followed by the Three of Cups. So this to me is the card of celebration. So maybe even potentially if you're in a relationship at the moment, you could be getting married, for example, or engaged. There's definitely an element of celebration that's going to happen relatively quickly. And if you're talking to somebody at the moment, again, this is a positive sign. The connection's changing. There's something positive to celebrate. And again, if you're single, then this is a really good sign. 313, as I said that, because this is actually you celebrating somebody taking action and coming towards you. It's also a really good time to again put yourself out there and acknowledge that the wheel is spinning in your favor. The universe wants you to continue nourishing yourself, protecting the things and your values, things that are close to you, people that are close to you. It's really important that we protect them and we nourish them, but we also hold ourselves and we look after ourselves and we pour directly into our own cup so that we can continue to shine like the sun and we can radiate our love, our positivity, our warmth. It's not about being selfish when we put our boundaries up. It's about protecting our energies, again, like the sun, because we want to ultimately shine, but keep that energy for ourselves as well. We can't be giving ourselves 24/7 to people. We need to find that balance and find that nourishment within our own soul. Ultimately, we've got two very masculine cards down here. And remember, tarot isn't about gender, it's about energy. And when I talk about masculine and feminine energy, those energies reside within us all. I mean, it could very well relate to gender in this case, but don't take it personally when I say masculine energy is making its way towards you, for example. So the next card is the Emperor. So I really feel like this person is very confident in themselves. They're very grounded. I feel like they've got a lot of their world is put together, you know. I think they can see the beauty in you, the beauty in your glow, your energy, and they're ultimately appreciating the fact that you are somebody who does look after themselves, somebody who does things on their own. This is my card of the Disney delusional princess. And again, that's not gender specific. I like to resonate with this card as well. It's a card of allowing your energy to shine, keeping yourself really nice and protected, but also growing at the same time. You're delusional to a point, but you're also keeping yourself in reality. You're still working on your goals. You're still chipping away at things. And ultimately, I think you're currently being viewed as the King of Pentacles. I think that you're being viewed as somebody who's on their throne, standing in their power, and fully going to accept their Emperor. You're gonna come together with somebody who matches your power. I think they're gonna bring something to your world, you're gonna bring something to their world, and ultimately it's gonna be a really nice give and take connection where you find that balance. And if you're already in a relationship, then I do see this as being a really strong relationship as well moving forward. You're basically celebrating your light, your positivity, your warmth, whilst being in love with your King of Pentacles, by being in love with your person and knowing that the thing that you've nourished and built together is actually a really beautiful foundation. But again, take it how it resonates. I'd definitely be using my discernment because it did feel a little bit conflicting in terms of who the collective actually were. So please do drop me a comment and let me know how that reading resonates for you. Are you single? Are you currently talking to somebody in early dating stages, or you've been in a long-term relationship? Please do let me know. I'd also appreciate if you could subscribe because it helps the messages reach a wider collective, and ultimately I want to try and help as many people as I can, so that would really be appreciated. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for joining pile 3. If you've been drawn to pile 3, then your crystal is the little rose quartz heart. So that could be your spirit guide sending you lots of love, but also you may be drawn to the rose quartz. So have a look at the properties of rose quartz, see how they resonate to you. It might be able to help you in your current energy. So the card that came out for this collective at the bottom of the deck was the Ten of Cups. So to me, I thought this was going to be a really positive reading. And again, I don't know if you're in a connection or a relationship which maybe you don't feel quite fully nourished in, or maybe you're in a connection that feels like things have shifted, or it could be that you're single or recently single and maybe having a tough time when it comes to actually achieving your Ten of Cups, actually building that home, or you're thinking, when is my time going to come? The Ten of Cups comes out, and to me this is a card of wish fulfillment, happiness. It's getting the family that you've always dreamed of. It's the white picket fence and the dog and all of these really nice, lovely things. But ultimately, it's followed by a very defensive energy. And again, I don't know if this is you being defensive about achieving that, or if you're in a situation currently where you feel like you need to be defensive. And it was 0110 on the timer as I said that, so 110. So just think about how this might relate to your situation and definitely use your discernment. But I feel this real defensive energy surrounding home, surrounding the family, surrounding what I'm trying to basically have my wish fulfillment for. There's a real sense of needing to take action on an emotional journey. The Knight of Cups isn't rushing forward. He's taking steady, proactive steps every single day, whether that's on his own healing journey, whether that's on working towards a goal, working on a connection, working on coming back to your higher self. But the universe is asking you to continue to nourish yourself, asking you to put the work in and acknowledge that things don't happen overnight. I feel like my biggest thing this week for readings has been the grass isn't always greener. I think it's important. It was 2-2 as I said that. It's important to acknowledge that in any connection, there's going to be problems. Like, nothing is ever going to be perfect. And as perfect as it may seem on the outside or on social media, I can guarantee that there's going to be some things that the other person doesn't like in that connection, even if they do keep it to themselves. I just feel like it's impossible to have this perfect standard at all times. And all connections need work. And ultimately, you need to acknowledge that you need to keep putting the work into yourself. You need to keep chipping away at your goals, your healing journey. But ultimately, you need to also acknowledge that connections need work, romance needs work, love needs to be built. And it's not something that happens quite quickly. It's something that builds over time, building connection. It's nine of I was going to say cups then, Nine of Pentacles, delusional Princess Disney era where you're spending time together, you're creating those memories and moments. But also, if you are waiting for that love to come in, you need to be doing this for yourself. You need to be grounding yourself, protecting yourself, putting yourself out there and enjoying life. You don't need somebody else there to protect you and be with you. It's about nourishing yourself and being confident and comfortable with being on your own, with building whatever it is that you're trying to build on your own. And then anybody else who comes in can't knock them foundations. I think that's something that I'm even guilty of in connections. I like to build a world together, build a partnership together, but ultimately when it all goes wrong and you're no longer in that connection, you can feel like you then don't have anything, or you don't have a world anymore. And I think it's a real valuable lesson that I've learned, that you need to have your own foundation, your own base, your own home needs to be really controlled before you can start like filling others' cups, before you can start giving to other people. And the Five of Cups speaks about not acknowledging how much positivity you have, how much abundance you actually have here, what's stood the test of time, what's still holding out in this connection, for example, because you're so focused on the things that have lost or what have been gone from you. So it's also actually weirdly, I've just made this connection. We've got the Five of Cups here where you're remorseful over these cups and failing to see these cups and see what abundance these bring. But also in the Four of Cups, you're still focused on these three cups and you're failing to see the cup that's being given to you. So I'd really start making sure you're seeing the beauty in every single day. Be open to receiving. Don't focus so heavily on what's lost or the three cups. I don't know what's so significant about three cups, but just make sure you're not so focused on them that you're not moving forward and you're not building a life that's beautiful for you, a life that truly authentically relates to you. And I know that if you do want to be in a connection, or you do want this particular connection to work, I know it can feel maybe quite daunting or quite isolating to do things on your own, but you really do need to gather your own power and empower yourself to move forward with whatever it is, whether that's work, connection, love, whatever it comes to. You need to find that power within yourself to be authentic and move forward in that light as well. And there's something here about the Chariot definitely sending you love, sending you healing. I feel like maybe this is a heartbroken collective. Maybe there has been a lot of sadness when it comes to love and connections, and that's probably what's preventing you from moving forward, or that's what you're currently struggling to sort of work through. But the Chariot asks you to find that balance once again, find that yin yang, find that energy within you to just take a deep breath and say, I know that I have X, Y, and Z trust issues, or these things trigger me, or this is what happened in those previous connections. It's about finding the energy within you to just continue to try. And it can be really difficult, but when you start to move forward and you meet the right people and you glow so brightly, you will inevitably attract a few flies and a few moths and a few bugs, but that's where we need to use our discernment and trust in ourselves so we can go to connections and flow with the right vibrations rather than wasting time on these bugs. So make sure that you apply lessons from previous cycles to any new cycles that you might enter, and that's all. But make sure that you are definitely taking action. There's something really strong here with the Chariot and the Three Cups. So don't focus on what's been lost. Definitely focus on what's still there and just keep moving forward. Just take it step by step, day by day. I really appreciate if you could drop me a comment, let me know if this reading resonated, if you were single, are in a connection, however it resonates, please do let me know. I'd also appreciate if you could like the video and hit subscribe as well, please, because it helps the messages reach a much wider collective, and I'm really trying to help as many people as possible, so I really appreciate it. And thank you for joining me. I'll catch you on the next one. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it, and please do let me know if the readings resonated in any way, how they resonated to you. I'd also really appreciate if you could check out my TikTok, because we're steady growing over there. I've almost hit 2,000 followers, and when we hit 2,000, I'm going to do a giveaway. It will be guided meditation and a personal reading by yours truly. So if you're invested in tarot or tarot readings, community in any way, please do check out my TikTok. And I'd also really appreciate if you could hit subscribe, because once again, it does help the collective grow, and I'd like to give messages to as many people as possible. I'll see you on the next one.